Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has started the process of phasing in the lifting of restrictions which have been imposed nationally due to the COVID-19 crisis. The first phase from May 11 to 23 will see the resumption of food services to the public. Cherrylene Lewis tells us more.
Some of the restrictions on the food service industry and outdoor activities will be relaxed from Monday, May 11th. The announcement by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley on Saturday is the beginning of an ease to citizens as well as businesses.
Food establishments and restaurants would be allowed to open and provide food services across the country, but there will continue to be no in-service dining. There is to be no dining within the premises of the establishment. Food can be prepared and sold to persons on the go. Restricted outdoor activities. This would exclude team activities or contact sport activities.
In this phase 1, the Prime Minister stated that hardwares can only open all day until 4 p.m., pharmacies continue to close at 8 p.m., and supermarkets at 6 p.m. But he stressed the stay-at-home order remains in place.
Most important in this phase 1, going into the other phases, going into the many months ahead, wear a face covering, wear a mask. You are required to do that.
Also in this phase 1 stage, 3 commercial companies have been given the green light to resume operations.
The tobacco export business, WITCO, to prepare and resume operations largely for export. We've also done the same approval for cement, TCL, and the new iron.
If COVID-19 numbers do not spike in phase 2, which is May 24th to June 6th, all manufacturing will resume, the public sector construction services will resume, and 50% capacity for public transport in maxi and taxis will continue. As for phase 3 from June 7th, the public service will return to work, private sector construction will return, public transport will increase to 75% passenger capacity. Beyond this, opening of malls and beaches in phase 4, opening of cinemas in phase 5, and opening of our borders in phase 6. Cherrylene Lewis, TTT News.
The Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Commerce and of Industry and Commerce is disappointed with the Prime Minister's risk-averse approach of a phased reopening. The Chamber says this approach may impact the ongoing viability of the majority of businesses and will result in increased unemployment, social tension, increased crime, and further stress upon our already fragile economy. Pointing to the current unemployment figure due to the number of businesses closed, some for over 8 weeks, the Chamber is urging government to protect vulnerable micro and small enterprises with annual sales of under $10 million, which have already seen sales decline by 25% or more over the corresponding period ending April this year. The body says it has made recommendations to the government to support tax-compliant businesses, including government-secured loans to cover at least 3 months of operating costs at 0% over a 3-year period with a 12-month moratorium on payments, deferral on payment of all tax and VAT payments for at least the next 2 cycles, BIR to approve any request to allow tax payments to reflect the current year's performance rather than prior year. The Business Chamber also called for the full proclamation of the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Property Act, in addition to the opposition and government working together to implement the Revenue Authority. One more person has been discharged from the COVID-19 step-down facility at the home of football in Couva. This brings the total number of discharged to 104. The number of positive cases of COVID-19 is held steady at 116 for just about 2 weeks. The last positive case was reported on April 26. In its clinical update today, the Ministry of Health says 1 person remains in the high dependency unit at the Couva Hospital. There are now 3 people at the step-down facility at the home of football in Couva. They are all said to be low risk and stable. The ministry says a total of 2,271 samples have been submitted for COVID-19 testing. 340 of those have been repeated tests. During a media briefing at the Diplomatic Center in St. Anne's this afternoon, Health Minister Terence Dialsing said 1 more person, someone who came in from Guyana, has been quarantined at the UWI Debe Penal campus, bringing the total number of persons quarantined there to 70.